guys, Mazzos here, and today I am back for day number 14 of r/ProRevenge, where today I have 4 stories lined up of they're just random stories that I found on ProRevenge. So let's get into these stories, and we'll start off with a short one. Cheat on me and no one goes on vacation. My ex and I used to go to a Cancun resort every year with a bunch of our mutual friends. I found out my ex was cheating on me when I accidentally got a flight confirmation email that he booked tickets for himself and the other girl. It was rough. Tried to have a civil breakup when he refused to pay me for the Cancun vacation that I had already prepaid. I tried to get my money back, but he refused. After our breakup, it took me several weeks to find a new place to live and move my things out of his house. On the last trip to the house, I asked him one last time for the money, and he again refused. So I accidentally packed his current passport in my last box of things and left my expired passport in its place. Since he had already booked the tickets, he apparently didn't check the passport until he was at the airport and was denied the international flight because he didn't have a current passport. I never did get my money, but I did get immense satisfaction that you can get to go on vacation. Updated. I gave the passport back a few weeks later when I discovered it in a box of things to unpack. So weird, right? He asked for a refund for the flights, and I told him I would be happy to if he refunded me for the resort, which was much more expensive. He declined. Why? If you're gonna cheat, don't make it obvious. You never make it obvious that you're cheating. And also, on the other hand, don't cheat at all. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Why you shouldn't brag about your illegal activities to people that don't like you much. I started renting a house about 5 years ago. I had always lived in apartments, and I was excited to finally have some space and privacy. This was ruined within the first week by my asshole neighbour, and he made my 4 years at that house miserable. He was in his late 40s or early 50s, and despite seeming like a fully functional adult, he has never lived outside of his parents' home. He spends every possible minute cleaning or admiring his truck, so he practically lives in the driveway. When he isn't bragging about some asshole move he just pulled on someone, he is hitting on the wives and daughters of anyone on the street. I moved in during the winter and started noticing footsteps in my yard in the morning. I found out that he was walking into my yard to look in my windows and see what I was watching/playing at night. I bought a simple security system and put a few cameras up, and this stopped. When he started mowing my side yard. He would mow it the day after I did. I asked my landlord about this and was told that Mike, the creepy neighbour, considered it his property and kept arguing about the property line. It's just grass, so I let it go. If I had neighbours over, he would stare at them and sometimes make comments when I wasn't around to hear him. If I was in the backyard, he would have a reason to be in his backyard. If I was in the house or the front yard, he was in his driveway where he could see me in my living room. If I was mowing the yard, he would get out a lawn chair and sit and watch, putting it away as soon as I was done. It came to a head when I caught him sending his dog into my front yard one morning, instead of letting it out into his fenced-in backyard like he normally would. I told him to stay on his side of the property line, and he said that he was going to break into my house and smash my cameras and computer. Cops were called and he got off with a warning. Last fall, I told my landlord that I was going to move out. During the conversation, I found out that Mike was on workers' comp for an injury that he got at work and was now bragging about how he used his workers' comp checks to set up his own under-the-table landscaping business. My landlord, like most of the neighborhood, doesn't really like Mike. The landlord's son and family live across the street, and Mike has hit on the wife a few times over the years, and has started trying to talk to their 17-year-old daughter. Why? Why 17? I waited for a day when he had his new work truck and trailer with his name and number on the door, and I made a video of him working on his yard and carrying 50 bags of mulch and climbing ladders. I sent videos and pictures to the fraud department of the workers' comp office. Today I just found out that he was guilty of fraud, ordered to pay back every dollar, and may end up in jail. I am happily living in a new place that has a lot of land between me and my neighbors. Why the 17-year-old daughter thing? That's, like, yes, I get you need to specify how old, but anything under 18 is just wrong. And even when a female turns 18, it's still probably a bit wrong to hit on them. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to move on to the next story. Got a foreign exchange student sent home to her home country for relentlessly bullying my sister. My sister was bullied relentlessly in high school for something she had literally zero control over. A certain part of her anatomy. Without going into detail, she felt terrible about it, and it more or less ruined her life as an insecure 15-year-old girl. The girl responsible for most of the cruel bullying, and the one who gave her a particularly cruel nickname related to her physical issue, was called Nadia. Nadia was a foreign exchange student at a school. Nadia was beautiful, she was cruel, and she didn't give any fucks about what anyone said by herself. I wasn't Miss Popularity myself, but I had to protect my sister from having her life ruined, and I felt a very strong urge to get back at her tormentors. They say to kill a dragon with many heads, you gotta cut off the main head. So that's what I did. I learned that the father of Nadia was very conservative. Her whole family back home was... And so I started spreading rumors about her being very promiscuous, and ensured these rumors reached the family she was staying with. This apparently caused her some trouble, but I wasn't done. I threw a party one night when my parents were gone. I invited Nadia, who gladly came, as I was a cooler, older girl somehow, and she never said no to take a chance to get hammered. And yes, there was a lot of liquor. I made sure of that. I took pictures of everyone drinking and having fun. That same night when everyone left, I put it on my Facebook. Tagged Nadia on it. She was my Facebook friend. She had this opinion turned on where everything she is tagged in is automatically allowed on her timeline. So a picture of her shit-faced drunk and very skimpily dressed made its way to her page. Because of it being the middle of the night, she must have not noticed until the next day in the morning, so it stayed on for hours. But due to her parents' time zone being vastly different, I was sure they would see it before she had a chance to take it down. They did. I wasn't there to see the fallout, obviously, but she was gone the next week from school and flown back to her home country. Apparently her parents had to save her from being corrupted or something. So she was gone, and my sister safe from ridicule as word of my involvement spread. And let's just say people didn't really want to mess with her after seeing how far I was willing to go to protect my little sister. You... Literally, Sibling of the Year award for you. Like, damn. How do you do that? You're so good. It's like... Sister of the Year award to OP here. You're literally getting a student sent home to protect your sister. Nice. Last story. Don't take my lawn decorations. I had purchased my first home in a slightly lower class area of town, which is pretty close to an even lower class area of town. Think slightly go a mile from absolute trail trash. I know most of my immediate neighbours, since most of them are pretty loud and I'd rather be friendly with them than have them be my enemy. Some local kid likes to go around collecting trash in his free time. A real nice kid. Does it really for really no reason. Whenever I see him, I usually get him a drink, lemonade or soda, so he can stay hydrated. California is hot. Sometimes I give him a few dollars. I offer the kid $30 a month to mow my lawn twice a month. So the kid has a small gig for small but consistent income. The kid takes a lot of pride in his work. He mows the lawn, pulls weeds, moves rocks out of the driveway, and just makes my place look extra nice, even though I don't even ask him to do any extra work. This guy is great. This goes on for a few years. Kid is now a senior in high school. Family is not doing so great. Dad just lost his main source of income, and Mum has accumulated debt, which put a lot of stress on their failing marriage. Mum was abusive verbally and sometimes physically to both the kid and the father. But the kid keeps on walking, doing work, volunteering, and being a real happy, upbeat dude. Despite his troubles at home, the kid starts buying lawn decorations. Mostly small little gnomes, some decorative rocks, and a bird bath. And he decorates my yard. It looks amazing, but I knew he must have spent a lot of his own money on that. I tried to reimburse him, and he denies. He won't take it. I know he needs a car, and I was about to get a new one for myself, so I gave mine for free. It really was the least I could do for this guy, for everything he has done for me. A few weeks later, a drunk driver T-bones the kid and dies on the scene. I was devastated. His parents were devastated, and soon after they got a divorce. They were fighting over who gets what, and the father discovers that the mother had a drug addiction that she had been hiding. Straight out of left field. She wants everything they had, and she lawyers up to fight the battle. Due to the debt the mother had accumulated on the father's bank account, he had really no money, and nobody knew where she got her money from. As sad as it is, it's not my affair. Until she sent me a letter claiming that the yard decorations are rightfully hers, and that she'll take them or else. Now, this is a problem. I get it, you lost your only child, you're in a lot of pain as a parent, but you were never a good parent to him. I was a lot closer to him than you, by a long shot. So I had a meeting with the father and told him not to worry about the court costs. I decided I was going to fund him in court. Long story short, about the divorce battle, but he wins and gets to keep everything, and even gets a restraining order on her. He then files for credit card fraud and puts all the debt on her. I heard from the father that she was recently arrested for driving while drunk, and was searched and has a decent stash of meth on her. She is currently awaiting trial for that, while the father is living a life, now relatively stress-free. And I got to keep my lawn decorations. Rip Jonathan, you are missed. Edit. To the people wondering what happened to the drunk driver that killed Jonathan, he also died on the scene. The impact quite literally crushed both cars involved. It was a mess. To the people calling this story bullshit, I will admit, this is in fact bullshit. It's bullshit that Jonathan died by a drunk driver. It's bullshit his mother was abusive, and that his father didn't have the confidence to stand up to her sooner. It's bullshit that the world isn't fair. I'll never forget something little Johnny told me. You can't control everything you can't control anything but yourself. So do what you can to improve yourself and see how it affects the team. He plays a lot of video games and was referring to League of Legends when he said that, but I find it very applicable in real life too. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna just skip the other edits where he's just saying, yes, I'm gonna go and take a shit on the mother's grave when she dies and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't have any pictures to share. Honestly, yes, I do have pictures of it. I lied to someone in the comments about that. I do actually have pictures. I just don't want to share them. I don't have to have a reason other than I don't want to. Sorry if that sounds selfish or rude, but that's just kind of how I am about that kind of stuff. I know I just share the personal story, but I can't bring myself to upload pictures of my personal stuff to the internet. It's easier to tell a story than share pictures, but that's just me. Anyways, I'm gonna end this episode here on a sad note. Just a T-bone accident that killed both drivers. Links will be in the description to the main channel and also the second channel that you're on right now with links to the playlist and the last episode. Go check them all out. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. The ding. I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.